Kia ora koutou Year 11s, it's Ms McIntosh again. So I'm just going to go through the questions from the Ncea 2017 Business 1.3 paper. I'm just going to start with question 1. So I have it here in front of me now. This is just a condensed version. I was trying to save them photocopying. If you do come in today or on Monday, Mr. Terrell can give you these, or Mr. Moore. So we're going to go through this question here. I just want to show you as part of today's video just where to find the answers. I'm hoping that most of you do know, but just in case you don't, I'm just going to show you where the answers can be found. So if we look here, I'm going to the Ncea Q page, and I'll go back to the home page here so you can see. So if you know what you're doing, you can probably skip forward, but you come to this page and you go to Ncea subjects. So nceqa.govt.nz, and then go to the right side of the screen and look for Ncea subjects. You click that and click business studies. All right, you find all your subjects here. And what we're looking for is resources for externally assessed standards and assessment schedules, level 1. All right, so this is just where the answers are found. It's not a secret. You should use them, absolutely. So scrolling down, we're looking at 90839, and that's operational problems, and we're looking at the 2017 assessment schedule. So there you go. That's how to find the answers. So question 1, let's go back to the question. So resource A, Ncea is a small family-run business that's owned and managed by Warren. Okay, so he's just one man in charge of the business. It's in Taupo. It's been operating since 2014. It's got a retail shop, workshop, and office. Okay, good to know. Warren employs 4 carvers on site and 2 other carvers who are located in Rotorua. Carvers, all right, so it might be interesting to know carvers. You have to have some skill there, not just like anyone who can do that job. And Warren's cousin, Rawinia, operates the shop, and Warren does the marketing and office duties. Ncea produces all jade Pounamu products by hand, and this is a major selling point for the business. Right, there we go. This is a business that's operated by Warren. It's in Taupo, and they make Pounamu. And it's carved Pounamu. It doesn't actually say that, but like these carvers, so what they'll be doing is they'll be carving the Pounamu into pretty things and selling it. Only use jade that's found in New Zealand, so that's good to know. And there's a graph. If you clicked on that, it's going to take you to about 4 graphs. So I think the one they're looking at is online sales. Basically, online sales have been going up, and then they say that underneath anyway. So online retail sales have been going up. Warren's decided to get a specialist web designer. He's pleased. They've been increasing. So, and then there's due to an increase in production to meet the increase in demand. The machines are being operated for longer hours each day. Recently, a piece broke off the grinding machine and caused a severe arm injury to the carver operating the machine. All right, so I think I actually gave my work that I did in the tutorial yesterday to Mr. Moore. But anyway, to go through this, very first question, use the information, resource A, that's that one, and your business knowledge to answer the question. So put yourself in the shoes of Warren, people, and when it comes to this, try and use that, like, pretend you're the business person and like how it would affect you. First question is one cause. So I did go over this in my first little video. What does it mean by cause? Fully explain one cause, and then fully explain one negative consequence. So just looking at a hint, fully explain means that for both of those bullet points, it's an achieve to excellence. Like technically you could be in the achieve to excellence category here. If it just said describe, identify, that's just an achieve thing. So you just be mindful to not like write a novel, you should only be writing like a sentence or 2 for something that says describe or identify. If it says explain, it's not an excellence, it'll be merit, but so you probably want to, write a couple of sentences at least. So I'm not going to tell you how much to write, but just try and bear that in mind when you look at the question. So one cause of the workplace incident. Now, I do recommend you go back here, and I'm just going to highlight a cause is like what's led up to it. So, like, what is the workplace incident? If we have a look at the answer, let's not look at the answers yet. Here's your approach to this. What is the workplace incident? Why did that happen? What led up to that happening? That's how you answer this. It says fully explain. So, what, why, and then like what led up to this. So, let's not go to the answers. The accident, there's an injury to the carver, so that's the what. The why, because a piece broke off the grinding machine. So he's got an injury, and that's caused by a piece breaking off the grinding machine. All right, and then showing your knowledge what led up to this, what caused that to happen. Well, you can say, see this bit here, due to an increase in production to meet the increase in demand. You say, since Warren's had an increase in online sales, they've tried to increase production to meet this demand. And this means that machines have been operated for longer. You don't want to repeat just the text. You need to add a little bit more. So there's been an increase in production to try and cope with the increased sales due to the online sales on the website. And this means that they've been using their machines for longer than they normally would, which means the machines have got worn out. So you could use the word depreciation, that's quite good. But what we're looking for is the idea that because the machines have been working longer than normal, they're starting to wear out, and so a piece has fallen off, and that's what led to the worker being injured. That's what we're looking for here. We can look at the answer. The only other thing that you might see there is they said that, so the worker might have got tired. So the reason that he got injured is because he was tired from working longer hours to meet the demand from the increased online sales. And because he was tired, he got a bit careless and therefore wasn't operating the machine properly. And that led to him making a mistake. So you can see that there. All right, but look for the what, okay, the why, all right, and then how that led to the event. They kind of explained it in a different way. I've started with injured the carver because the piece broke off. They've ended with that. What happened? Why did this happen? What led up to this? All right, so that's that one there. The consequence, we need to think of something bad that's going to happen to the business because of this. And I think we went through a couple of options yesterday in our tutorial. They're kind of like, what's not going to be good, all right, for the business because of this. So again, there is a bit of structure to this. So kind of like, when I say structure, you could say, oh, they're going to be a staff member short. That's fine. But if you want to it's not that hard to turn that into a better answer. All right. So I'm not saying that you all have to strive for excellence, but it's kind of like sometimes we just sort of write a sentence and we don't realize that actually we could easily expand upon that and make it better. So they're now one staff member short. All right. Why? So what? One staff member short. Why? Because they're absent for work. So because they're injured, they'll need to take time off to heal, and so they'll be absent from work. That's the why. You what, and then why is that the case? And then what does this mean for the business? So what, why, what does this mean for the business? So if you've got a worker missing, then you are going to have to find a way to do the job of that person. So you want to say something, in this case, they're saying, increase workload for existing staff because they're going to have to replace the person that's away. The person who's away won't be able to do his job, so they'll need other people to pick up his work while he's away. Okay, so that's the what, the why, and then what does this mean for the business? The other one, I don't think that many people would have got this, but basically, if you have an accident like that, then sometimes WorkSafe could investigate you. WorkSafe, some of us looked at that website in class. They might investigate you and fine you because they might think that you haven't shown good health and safety. You haven't got the right practices and stuff like that. So that's what that's saying. So the what, they'll get fined. Why? Because it's an offence under the health and safety laws, or they might have broken the law by not having proper health and safety in place. And then what does this mean? Well, that means that they're going to have more expenses, and that means that their profit's going to decrease, and or that might make it harder for them to continue in the long run. Again, what, why, and what does this mean? And that last one that they've got here, I think that links to the first one. They're one staff member short. They might find it hard to replace them, and that's the why, is because people might think that they're not trustworthy, that they don't have safe workplace, and then they don't want to work there. So they will not work for them, or they'll go work elsewhere. And then what does this mean? That will make it more expensive for them to find someone. They might not be able to find someone, so they might not be able to do their production. They might have to decrease production, which means they'll sell less, and then their profit will fall. You can sort of see there's a bit of similarity here. What's different is the initial what and partly the why. Okay, so just have a wee think of that. And on to the last part of question 1. So this is what's happening, and then we of course are going to have to find out some solutions. So what can they do to help prevent workplace accidents in the future? And this is looking at a short-term versus a long-term measure. So short-term, there's been an accident, they're going to need to do something like now. All right, that's not necessarily going to solve the problem, maybe because it's hinting that in the long run, it's possibly going to take a bit of time, it's going to be expensive. there's some reason that you can't just fix it straight away. Right? Also, it's a workplace accident. You can't always prevent every workplace accident. You can only try and minimize the chance they'll happen. So looking at this, describe just means to state something. You might need to explain what you mean. Like, like, I don't know, if this was bad debts or something and you said, oh, they need a credit policy, we probably need to sort of say what you mean by a credit policy, but not too much because it's only describe. Explain means to give a little bit more. There's got to be a why in here, a because. And then the last bit, fully explain 2 long-term measures, is something that requires a what, a why, and then like, what would this mean for the business? Seems pretty simplistic. What, why, and what would this mean for the business? So whenever we look at the answer schedule here, right here, so this is, let me go scroll down. So they're saying short-term developer maintenance plan. I'm sure you could come up with something else, but basically something along the lines of a maintenance plan, and or they could get someone to start to go and check all the machines. Could be another way of saying it. And the advantage, remember, if you listen to my first video, a short-term solution is looking at something that, like, it's immediate, something you're going to do straight away. So you're saying advantage, you can do this straight away. And they're saying that's because there's many templates and maintenance plans online. I think that's a bit difficult. Basically, if you were looking at a business plan, CV, you needed to come up with some health and safety rules, and you remember back to your business planning, you can just go Google that and you'll easily find it. So they're kind of saying that if you want to come up with a plan, it's quite easy to do that because there's lots of like information about plans and templates online, but it's therefore quite easy to do. So it's something we can do straight away. If or they're saying staff could be part of the solution. I haven't got my notes, but I feel like another solution would be, immediate solution or short-term solution would be to go and check all the machines and start work at repairing them. But you can do this straight away, and the advantages is that you would be seen to be dealing with the problem and stopping some of them from wearing down. Yeah. Okay, the long-term things here is to purchase new machinery. So this is long-term because that's quite expensive to do that. You'd also have to find the new machines, and being a carving business, they might be a bit specialised. Okay, so what are we looking at? We're looking at what are you going to do? Purchase new machinery. Why would you do this? Because if they're brand new, they're more likely to be up-to-date, good technology, so they're less likely to break down, and they probably won't need as much maintenance because they're new. So what? New machinery. Why? Not going to need as much maintenance, not likely to break down. And then what will this mean? It means that a working environment safer, they'll be able to increase their productivity because people will feel safe, so they'll work hard. They put their full effort into it because they're not worried about getting hurt, so they can meet the increase in demand. And also, since the machines are new and less likely to break down, it's less likely to be an accident in the future. So you can have a wee look at the other ones. External contractor, yep, I think that's a good point. It's a small business, so it isn't necessarily practical for them to have someone permanently on site who goes and repairs all the machines and stuff like that. So it's better to outsource that or get someone outside the business, pay someone else to come in and check the machines on a regular basis, do repairs like every month, that kind of thing, service them, and then you can it says expert advice, you would know that they are going to be safe and they're less likely to break down and they're less likely to be fined. So you can see that. But key thing, what, why, what will this mean? And that's it for question 1.